Hey, I'm Travis.
And I'm Adele.
And we are The Noble Marriage.
If you're new here, welcome. We are so glad to have you. And welcome, returning friends. We're glad you're here also. The Lord put us on this path because we have our own God story of healing and restoration in our marriage. And we want to share this freedom with couples all over the world.
We hope that through our channel, you will be inspired and motivated so that your marriage will be all that God created it to be.
Hey, and welcome to Comment of the Week. So this comment is, what is the effect of resentment in a marriage? And how does it affect the husband and the wife?
This comment came on a video we did on resentment. And the story I told in the video is I was doing dishes and Adele was sitting in the living room and I had this thing come up for me like, why are you sitting there while I'm in here doing all this work? And I was thinking, if you came in here and helped me, we could get done with this a lot faster and I can be sitting with you while you're watching TV or whatever it is you're doing. But I didn't communicate that. Instead, I just boiled inside and had this resentment come up for me. And so, read the question one more time, the first one.
What is the effect of resentment in a marriage?
In a marriage, okay. And then the second one is, what is the effect in the husband and wife? All right, so the effect it had on me was it closed my heart. By me having these expectations of Adele and not telling you what they are, my heart closes down. I
build walls.
I build a wall. Yeah, that's great. I build a wall with you, right? And I separate myself from you. And I also will have confirmation bias, which what that means is I'm going to look for additional things to prove I'm right. That she is not going to help me or whatever. I'm going to create more opportunities to have more disappointment in our marriage.
And for the spouse that's experiencing the resentment, like, you feel it, it's coming out, it's an energy that you're putting off. And I kind of just felt like, what is this deal? Like, first of all, he's in there doing the dishes when he could be sitting down with us on the couch too, and we could do the dishes later, but he's the one that wanted to do them right then. And then I just think it's so interesting that there was such a lack of communication where I'm like, you're the one choosing to do it. And you're like, how come you're sitting down and not helping? And so both of us are holding this resentment and not talking about it. And so it really was a miscommunication. But we built those walls. So now there's this wall that we have to get over in order to experience love, connection, and intimacy. And so those walls keep you disconnected. It just starts to have all kinds of negative behaviors, and your spouse can see it. But a lot of times I was just too scared to even open the conversation because I knew it would be an argument, and I knew that he had some expectations for me that I just didn't see as important.
Yeah, and another question, the first one is, what is the effect of resentment in a marriage? And that's exactly what happens is I'm going to have walls that come up and I'm going to have separation from you, but you can't help but also kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, it makes me like, okay, if you're going to be that way, then I don't want to be around you.
So the effect in our marriage is a loss of love and a separation as well. So it affects both me because it's my problem. It isn't her problem, by the way, that the story I'm telling you about when I'm washing the dishes, that's not her problem. That was my problem because I had this belief that the dishes needed to be done then. You didn't feel the same way.
I didn't.
Which really bothers me, by the way. I have a belief system that doesn't line up with hers. And what happens is if I choose not to share that with you, then you don't know what's going on for me.
Right. And here's the simple way to handle this. Hey, Adele, would you mind helping me out in the kitchen for, let's just like knock all these dishes out. We can do it together and then we can go watch TV. I would have been like, sure, I'm all in. Let's do it. because there's communication there, and he's letting me know why he wants to do it right now, rather than he just gets up and starts doing dishes, and I don't feel like I should get up while we're in the middle of a movie and wash dishes. I feel like we should wait until the end of the movie.
Yeah, so to answer your question, that was great. Resentment builds walls. Resentment separates. Resentment doesn't leave space for love. And as Adele and I were talking about this to answer this question, we really came to there needs to be safety in the conversation. There needs to be a lot of conversation that's open between the spouses. And if that's not possible, contact us. We have an amazing 9-week course that will walk you through all of that and more.
Are you relating to building resentment in your marriage? I know it was a major issue in our marriage for years, and both of us avoided talking about it. And so I also want to say, if you're relating to this, like, forgiveness is the answer. Forgiveness and letting go of things, alongside of what we just said, is communication. Because when you're having open conversation with your spouse, and you can have empathy for why he feels like he needs to do the dishes right now, then I can automatically give into that, and he can let go of those feelings that he was having, which is just forgiveness, and serving one another and putting each other first.
Yeah, we have a good video coming out on the forgiveness and apology with Dr. Gary Chapman. That'll be coming out soon.
Yes.
Make sure and tune in to that one.
Yes.
Also, we have a course. It's a 9-week course, and that is another great resource that may make sense to you. And there's a link below to be able to check that out.
And just remember, the battle is not with your spouse.
It is absolutely not.
When you start having those thoughts of, she should be helping me, she just doesn't care about me, or he doesn't love me, he thinks I'm not good enough, or whatever it is, that is actually the enemy just whispering in our ear, trying to disconnect us in our marriage. That's the scheme. That's the plan. And so when you can recognize that your battle is actually with the enemy and not with your spouse, you can let stuff go so much easier, because you can see it plain as day. Oh, I see you. I see what you're trying to do here. And when I start feeling those kind of feelings of, I see what the enemy's trying to do, I know that the answer is letting go and having communication. That's like my go-to. And so I just want to remind you, your battle's not here. It's with a much bigger enemy, and that is Satan and what his scheme is for your marriage, and that's to destroy it.
That's good.
So easy to just slip those little things in there, and it all starts with our thoughts.
When it pops up, put horns on it.
Right. So thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to join us on our next conversation, where we start with Gary Chapman and his interview, who is the author of The 5 Love Languages. Wow. It was one of the best interviews that we have had, and we're so excited to share them with you. Come prepared to learn so much about your spouse and about yourself through the stories that he shares in his interview. We'll see you then. Bye! So we're going to dive into that today and answer. So, go.
I love you.
Hey, you're not finished yet.
We're here to make a difference and inspire your marriage and other marriages as well. And if you found value in these videos, leave us a comment and let us know what that was, so we can make other videos similar to that.
We would love for you to join our community of awesome, like-minded people.
They are awesome.
Go ahead and hit subscribe, and you'll get daily motivational videos that impact your life and inspire you to be your best self. This also helps us get our message out to marriages
all over the world. So thank you so much for subscribing and joining our community.